two guests. So, what's the next thing we need to look at is approval of the June 9th meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at that?
Yep, I move we accept the June 9th meeting minutes as written.
Second? Who seconded?
Steve.
Okay. Sorry, I was looking down. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by aye.
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 No opposed. Okay. I'm making myself some notes, so. Okay, the July 8th minutes. Have you had a chance to look at those? Okay, do I hear a motion regarding that? July 8th.
I move we accept them as written.
Okay. Gene second. Do I hear any discussion or questions regarding those minutes? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the July 8th minutes, approve, signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Just need a signature on that from you and Gene.
so those are approved, and that is John and Jean. Okay, we have the claims, July claims. Get to that page.
It was a pretty quiet month. As you see, we got a load of fuel from Keystone Cooperative, DTS Aviation Equipment. We had a couple things on,
Order, won't they?
yeah, I can't remember if it was for the jet truck or the aft truck. I think it was one of the valves on the aft truck needed to be replaced, but DTS is the company that manufactured our aft truck. So anytime we need fuel truck equipment, we purchase directly from them.
Right.
And other than that, it was really a pretty quiet month, unless there's a specific question from somebody. McAllister rental for $2,331.11. We rented a roller for the month. Back in, I think that was May that we rented that, just so we could do berm work and roll the areas where we do all of our zero turn. It makes it a lot, after tearing it up with plows in the winter, it just makes it a lot smoother on the equipment and the operators throughout the summer for all of our mowing. And so we just we used the city's rollers as long as we could, and then they started asphalting, so we needed to just rent one for a month to finish that project up, so.
And the Stantec Consulting, is that continuation of the
Yep.
fuel spill
Yep.
issue?
So we have submitted, the initial site investigation is now complete. We are moving on to further site investigations. We are showing that there is no migration. We've contained everything, and we've been getting negative fuel results, which means we have pulled everything out of the ground. There's nothing showing up on any of the tests. So we're really hopeful that with very little, we'll have to monitor for probably the next year, just continue to monitor to make sure that everything looks correct. But since there's no more standing fuel and there's no more presence of fuel, we should hopefully get a positive response from IDEM on that and be able to wrap that project up hopefully in 12 to 18 months.
Okay, the monitoring, will Stantec continue to do that?
Yep, they will continue to do that. They've also helped, we are starting the process to start reimbursing ourselves from that state fund so that we can start paying ourselves back for what we have taken care of so far.
Okay. And then the Accent.
Ascent Aviation, 117,000. We've been selling a lot of fuel. It's been a good month for us.
Just that old Jet A?
Yep, most of it. I think, did we have a load of, We had one load of avgas, and then the rest was all Jet A. I can tell you here. We had two loads of Jet A, 3 loads of Jet A, and 1 load of avgas. 4 loads of Jet A and 1 load of avgas.
Okay. Do I hear a motion on the claims?
Yes, I make a motion to accept the claims as presented, especially as sent. Aviation for $117,874.47. Belmont Oil for $348.54. And Camp Software for $595.
Okay,
Total of $118,818.01.
Second.
do I hear any questions or discussion in regards to the claims? Okay, hearing none, hear the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor.
I do have a simple question
Yeah.
about that, though. Why is the camp software down here instead of up with the other stuff?
Because
Just curiosity.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, John. So when you guys look at the vendor activity report that we print off, everything up at the top is paid out of our airport general operating budget. And then everything down at the bottom, so fuel, oil, and anything that is related to the FBO business is paid out of our checking account. So that money is not tax money. So when people see $117,874, that's not tax money that is paying those fuel bills. That's the money that we collect from our customers for selling the fuel that pays those fuel bills. And then Linda and I manage that bank account, and when all the bills are paid off at the end of the month, we look at that, we see how much is left in there, and we like to keep about 100,000 in there just for when bills do come in. But then anything over that, we actually write ourselves a check, and that money goes into our operating fund, and that's where a majority of our funding for the airport comes from.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have an additional visitor, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
So, Josh and Delin and David Sloan. Any questions from you gentlemen at this point? Not yet. Okay. All right, I guess we're ready for the engineer's report.
Take it away, Mary.
All right, let me share my screen real fast. So you all can see it. All right, you guys see that? So I can hear.
Yes, ma'am, we got you.
Okay. So first up is the runway G7 obstruction mitigation. So this is really just outside of our hands right now. We sent all the closeout documentation to the FAA in June, and now we're just waiting for the FAA to.
Hold on a second, Mary. Mary, can you still hear us?
For me?
Yeah, there's something going on with our audio here at the city, but we'll just leave it there. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat what I just went through, or did you catch it?
Yeah, go ahead and repeat it if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So for runway G7 obstruction mitigation, right now this is somewhat out of our hands. We submitted all the closeout documentation to the FAA in June, and we're just awaiting their review for everything to see if they need anything else from us, and really no action right now. It's just kind of in their hands while they review everything. Any questions? All right. Move on to improve runway 97 safety area. We have received some final comments from the FAA, and we're really just trying to put those all into the final version of the site visit. Again, we're just waiting for the FAA review and comment of this, so they haven't given us an update on this. So there's really no action for this one either.
Mary, I don't know if Simon reached out to you, but I called him middle of last week. We talked about possibly resubmitting the wildlife action. We actually had a bird strike last week. 3 or 4 dozen Canadian geese flew into the airport right as a crop duster was taking off. And four geese were killed. No damage to the aircraft. The pilot was fine. He was able to circle around and land and look at the aircraft, and there was no damage that we were made aware of from that strike. But we did go through the normal reporting procedures. And so Simon and I talked, maybe if we resubmit it with the documents of the recent wildlife strike, that might help expedite it on their end to say, hey, this is something we really do want to get looked at. Can you guys get a move on this? So that's something that just happened.
Yeah, that's agreed. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. Hopefully they can realize the importance of it as well and can get it reviewed at a time.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I check in with Simon in a couple weeks, make sure we get that submitted here soon then.
Okay.
Or resubmitted, I guess I should say. Alrighty, next up is the corporate hangar taxi lane Echo 1 rehab. So Bender Brown has completed the seal coat and final paint striping work items. And we did have a final inspection walkthrough with NDOT on July 31st. So we do have a few board actions for this. First up is a motion for the board approval and Dan Robinson's signature on CHA invoice 58412.6-12 in the amount of $4,107.40. And that amount is the same for the local share.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Questions?
I make, second that.
Okay. All in favor signify by aye, approval.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, Mary.
Next is, oh, sorry, did that go through?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, for a second I was thinking, I was waiting for one final approval. Okay, next is the motion for board approval and Dan Robinson's signature on Bennett Brown's pay application number 4 in the amount of $30,213.15. And the local share is the same for that as well.
Okay. Make the motion?
I make the motion to pay, who is it?
Finn and Brown.
Ben and Brown, okay. $30,213.15.
Second.
Gene
Second.
second? Okay. Or John second, I'm sorry. Any questions? All right, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved. Any nays?
Thank you
No?
for that. And this final one, and I apologize, I think I may have included, I'm just now realizing, Nick, that I attached change order 1 instead of change order 2
Okay.
to the documents that I sent you. So let me pull up change order 2 really fast, because that was my mistake. And we don't want to do change order 1 again because that was an increase. And this one is the final balancing and the decrease. So we're under budget for the project. So I want to make sure that's noted.
Perfect.
So,
What, I can't read that, what's,
so this, I can zoom in. This is the change order 2. This is for final balancing. And it's a decrease amount for the project. That better?
wow, that's a pretty good decrease.
Yeah. It's always nice to come in under budget on the project.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yes.
So I'll get, if it is approved, I'll get that over to Dan for signature tomorrow.
So I'll go back to this page. So this is just a motion for the board approval of Dan Robinson's signature on the final balancing change order in the amount of a deductive $89,233.35.
Okay, do I hear a motion for change order number 2 for the deduct?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Steve, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Steve and John. Any discussion, questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? Okay,
When they go down.
that's nice, yeah. A deduct of $89,233.35. We like
Yes,
that.
It's not very often you get to increase the scope of a project and do more with less money,
Yeah, I
and
know.
the project cost goes down. So that was a very, very pleasant.
Run with that.
Yep. I just need, sorry, to get signature.
Right down
Yep,
there,
yep.
okay.
Thank you, Reggie, for keeping that project under budget.
Oh, I look forward to that one.
That was his project. I will not take the credit.
Hopefully you can work that same magic on the runway project.
We will see.
Every project.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Taxiway Bravo rehab. Again, this is one that we submitted grant application to the FAA back in June, and we're just awaiting a grant for that. I know, Nick, you've had some conversations. It seems like it is favorable to receive a grant. We just haven't received it yet, and most likely will be towards the end of the fiscal calendar, so sometimes probably mid to late September is what we're anticipating.
Yeah.
We-
So just
We
to,
will probably next month if we haven't received it, sorry, Nick, to interrupt you.
No, you're
If we
fine.
haven't received it in time for the board meeting, we may just do a preemptive approval for the board for signature when we do receive it. But we'll see next month if they've gotten us anything at that point. Just because I'm sure you're all familiar, they like those signatures very
pretty
quickly.
quick. Yep. Yeah, I've talked with the FAA and NDOT. They're very hopeful that we will get this grant. They don't have their funding in place yet. And so I've spoken with Fenton Brown. They are willing to hold the bid price for the project to next year, because this Taxiway Bravo, just, there's no time. If they get us even if they got us the money, right away in September, there's no way we could get the project done this construction season. So that actually works out better for Fenton Brown's schedule, because of all the projects that they had this summer. We will be one of the first projects they do next spring once the thaw happens. So that actually winds up being advantageous for us, and working with the state on a secondary project that I'll get into hopefully next month or the month after. And if we can tie the two, it's related to Taxiway Bravo and 1836. If we're successful with that grant program with the state, we might be able to button up a bunch of different projects that we have that are kind of lingering in the background on 18 our concerns with the aligned taxiways versus the displaced thresholds. Just try to clean up all of that geometry that the FAA is not super happy with, and get the new taxiway and the runway. Everything will be to standard then at the end of next year. That's kind of the goal. So we're working with NDOT on that to see if there might be some apportionment dollars that we can use to clean all of that up, which would be really great.
All right, moving on, general services task order, we don't have any update for that, so no board action there. For the airport overlay district, we are just working with the airport on the potential draft for the new zoning ordinance. So I know that Rob and
Okay, to entertain a motion for the invoice?
I make a motion to pay this bill.
Second.
John seconds, Gene made the motion. Any questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, none opposed.
All right, down runway 927 rehab. We had notice to proceed, start on that on last week, August 7th. And we actually closed the runway this Monday, the 11th. So that is closed until the 18th of September. Right now, the schedule for the contractor is patching planned for the week of August 18th, milling planned for the week of the 25th, and I don't have it on there, but paving the following week. Right now, they've been focusing on kind of getting some of the startup stuff going with the haul routes, the barricades. I believe today they were trying to put in the gates. Last I heard at 1 o'clock today.
It's
They
in-
haven't gotten that up yet.
It is, it's up
You know,
and,
they-
up and
it's
pretty.
now?
Yep,
Great.
drove by it on the way here.
Great. Just a lot of startup work happening on that right now, so.
I told Brent he should have had that gate up last week with Airport Road closed. It would have given me a quicker way to get to and from downtown.
If only. Alrighty, we do just have one final board motion for this. So motion for the board and Dan's signature for CJ invoice 584-1211-07 in the amount of $13,224.40, with the local share being the same amount.
I have a question there. Should my name be attached to that or Dan's?
I think we had yours on it last
Yeah,
month.
I changed it on the one up here. You caught me. I was trying to see if anyone noticed. I didn't catch that from my previous version, so
I
sorry
don't
about
care.
that,
I
John.
didn't know whether it made a difference.
I had a little mistake there, and I tried to get by changing it in between.
It's good that you're reading
Keeping
it.
me honest.
Yep, good you're reading it.
Okay, entertain a motion for invoice, CHA invoice 584-1211-07 in the amount of $13,224.40.
I make that motion.
All right, Gene?
Second.
Steve second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
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 Okay, unanimous?
Alrighty, and then the last one is just the taxiway alpha basis of design. Again, that grant application was submitted back in June to the FAA, and we're just waiting for that grant now. So no action needed on that. Any questions from the board? Anything you guys want me to give more further detail on?
I have a question, Mary. Let's back up to the first one up there on the closeout documents. What was the final total dollars for that?
I will have to go and pull that up. I believe that we were pretty close to the grant amount with it. I think we were a little bit under than the final grant amount. But
Yeah,
I can pull that here.
I want to say like 160 or 180,000 under budget on the power line project.
Yeah, it was definitely under. I don't remember the exact amount off the top of my head.
Okay, I didn't ask you sooner because I thought I had that information. I was looking back through and I didn't see it, so.
Yeah, that was one where the meeting was in the beginning of June, and we were waiting for AEP's final invoice, so you guys preemptively approved it because it had to be submitted by the end of June, but I think we got the invoice maybe a week after your guys' board meeting, so you just approved basically to board items while I pull it up. You don't want to wait for me.
If that is everything for
If-
her, other than that, why, Nick? do you
If I
want-
found the right number, Mary, I think it was $7,581,559.81.
7, slower.
$7,581,559.81. I think. Mary's gonna confirm it. And I think the original was $7,749,520.82.
That sounds accurate.
Okay. 7,700,000 and
The original estimate was $7,749,520.82.
what? Okay. Another one slightly under, good.
Actually, I have a related question to that one too. What more is it gonna take for us to alter that approach, 127, now that we've got the power lines lowered?
Now we need to move the road.
What's that?
We need to move the road. That's the next project. So 100 East is now our next big project, and our current goal with the airport, why we're doing all of these paving projects, is to get the airport asphalt back up to snuff. Now that we've got the power lines down, we really needed to focus on some pavement preservation. And so we're doing projects that are going to get the asphalt to a point where we will be good for a minimum of 10 years with the asphalt that we're going to have out there. And then that will let us really focus all of our time and attention on what to do with 100 East and how that's going to, what that project is going to look like moving forward. Obviously, as always, our goal is a tunnel.
Right.
That has not changed. But that is our next big project. Did you find it then, Mary?
I did, sorry, I didn't want you guys to get nauseous with my scrolling, so I tried to screen out, but here is, the amount that we were awarded, so just over, or just under, 8 million, and then we're right around, 7.7.
So that second number I gave you guys, that was the total project.
Oh,
So you can see, here, the federal share, which they covered 90%, they were just over 7 million. We were, just under 400,000, and the state covered the other 400,000.
So a huge thanks to the county for helping us get across that finish line as well. Remember, this was one of the projects they partnered with us on. So
Right.
by
Right.
them helping us with the power line project, we were able to use that money, and that's how we got the taxi lane as well as the runway, and we're getting a lot of other stuff taken care of out there. So. All right. Any other questions? Great questions.
Are we, related to that too, are we ever going to try to get the ILS running again?
Yes.
Okay.
That's just another locally funded project that, do we want to fix the pavement or do we want to fix the ILS? And talking with all of our biggest corporate users, the ILS is important, but with our GPS that has WAS and LPV and everything else, we don't need that. That's as precise as the ILS is. And while the ILS is great to have as a backup, pavement was a bigger concern for safety than the ILS. And so our goal is to get the pavement to where it needs to be, and then really, that'll be one of those focuses on airport improvements.
The reason why I asked the question is because, pretty much everybody has a GPS these days.
Yep.
And we've got that, and it's just as accurate, so.
The other issue is because the ILS is a physical piece of equipment, moving the threshold. So if we can get 100 East tunneled, looped, whatever we wind up doing, we would have, if we replace the ILS now, we would have to go out and physically move all of that equipment that we just put in to where the new threshold is.
Right.
And it's one of those, why are we spending, you might as well save the $300,000 it would take to move that and do all of that all at once, do that upgrade once the threshold's been moved.
Right.
So, good
Thank you.
question, yep. And with the manager's report, as you guys can see, fuel sales are going up. We're busy with crop dusters right now. I'm sure everybody's seen them and heard them out flying. They're really busy, which is good. We're selling lots of fuel, and things are looking good on the business side. So we're up quite a bit from where we were last year. Unless you have any specific questions, we can move into new business and get through some of that.
I have one question.
Shoot.
Every month, we get a document that looks like this and another that looks like this. I don't see the correlation between the two documents. What am I missing?
Which ones?
Well, this one says our year-to-date total revenue is that, and that number doesn't line up with any of these numbers. I'm sure there's a good reason for it, I just don't know what it is.
I think probably the one number is what you actually expend, and the other number is our net. or
Yeah, so this is two. This document has always bothered Linda and I both, because it's really two documents in one. And we have asked if the board wants us to present it a different way, and if you guys want us to start showing it a different way, we can. But this really shows the cost of fuel and so the revenue and the expense twice, because it's the FBO business is receiving money in and paying money out, and then paying money to the city. That is, we're paying money in and getting tax money in, and also paying our bills out. So at the bottom, that is the actual true cost of what we have spent on projects and other things at the airport so far this year. And then the bracketed number at the bottom is, because it's in the negative, that is how much money that we've spent that we have not made, if that makes sense.
It does. In this document, the consolidated one, makes sense to me. I'm not understanding what we're supposed to get out of this document, because it doesn't really correlate to this is just revenue, and it doesn't correlate to these revenue numbers.
Linda, is this because we're a month off?
It's just your fuel usage, it's
Yeah,
just your fuel for the month, and then.
This one is
year-to-date.
just fuel. This is
That's
not
ju-
oil
yeah,
or
it's just-
not rent or anything else.
It's just fuel.
But he's right, Linda, the one number on the fuel. Steve, let me look into it and get back to you.
Okay. I would appreciate it.
Because at the end of the day, that number and that number are supposed to match up. So I don't know if that was just a typo on our part, or I'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Question.
Do you see what he's saying?
It is confusing, Steve.
And I confuse easily.
Uh-huh.
And I confuse easily.
Probably less so than we do when it comes to this kind of reports.
You're always gonna be a month behind. You're not buying the fuel and you're gonna sell it.
That's, yeah.
You're always gonna be a month.
Linda reminded me, sorry. We're always a month behind because we don't pay, you guys just approved all of the invoices for July. And so the fuel usage report is always going to be a month ahead of where the income statement is, because we haven't paid for that month's fuel yet.
The fuel usage report towards the fuel we actually sell that month. Not what we haven't paid for it.
And we haven't received the payment for it yet. Because most of our customers are on a net 30. And so we have sold them that fuel, but we haven't, the bill's not due until the end of the month. And so we don't collect that. And we just sent those bills out last week for the month of July. And so in September, you'll see all of the August revenue, all of the July revenue that was paid at the beginning of August.
I'll see that on which of the two documents, on the one with the colored stripes on it? Because that one right now is lower than the other one.
Correct. Because that one's the month behind, right?
This is just the fuel that we sell to the customers in transit. This one is, I pay to send Aviation. This is who we pay the company. That's what we actually, it's the cost of the fuel.
But that one with the colored stripes is just revenue. It doesn't have any expenses on it, it just shows revenue.
Correct.
Correct. That is the markup we get from the fuel.
The number you're seeing on this are not gross numbers, they're net numbers. They're not what the customers actually billed for.
Okay,
That's what the airport's share of that sale is. That's why it's so confusing.
yeah, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with that one sheet. The consolidated one I get, but the other one, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do with it.
Primarily, it's just so you can see the trend in fuel sales. What did we sell last year versus what we're selling this year? What was our revenue last year versus what is our revenue this year?
Okay? I will keep that in mind.
And as always, if you guys would like it presented a different way, or you would like more information on something or less information on something, let us know what that is. I mean, it's not very difficult. We can build these Excel spreadsheets and to show whatever you guys would like. And if you want to completely revamp how you guys receive this information, we are open to that. We can sit down and talk that through, because we want to give you what you want to see and what makes the most sense to you.
Okay, we'll give it some thought.
I will add that to the to-do list.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we move on to new business?
I used up my quota.
No, not at all.
You're doing just
You don't
fine.
have a quota.
Okay, did we have any further on the income statement?
Not unless you guys have something. I just have a
Okay.
couple things we need to get approved.
Okay, well, let's move on to, looks like we have no unfinished business at this point, right?
Correct?
So we'll move on to new business. First item looks like land lease for hangar 4B.
Yep. So Dan Ford is requesting, his lease is up at the end of the year, and he is requesting that he re-up under his lease for an additional 10 years. That would take him through the 31st day of December 2034. Dan's one of our best GA tenants, and he has my fullest support with this. I think we'd be silly not to re-up his lease.
Oh, absolutely.
Move that we renew the lease for 10 years.
Any discussion, questions?
No.
I'm assuming that this option is built into his lease.
Correct. Yep.
And it's his option to exercise,
Correct.
so unless we're aware of some malfeasance on his part, I don't see any reason not to approve the extension.
Agreed.
All right, did I get a
Motion.
second?
Gene seconded.
Second.
Gene second, John moved.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor of renewing Dan Ford's lease, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Any opposed? No? Okay. We're good. All right, Deer, I think task force approval?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. All right, so this is the same as last year. Working with the City of Warsaw and Todd Braddock, who runs the City Deer Task Force Reduction. They have requested that they be granted permission to hunt the same ground that they did last year, and it is the field east of 100 East. It is outside of the fence, and it was successful last year, and I would have no issues or objections to them continuing on, as the city is working with the DNR and the state in that deer task, or the deer reduction zone that it is labeled in. So I would support this project, and that we give them the approval to continue to hunt that property.
yeah, that's all farmland, correct?
Are we talking
That's
bow
correct.
and rifle?
Bow only, and it has to be
Okay.
compound bow. There's training that they have to be qualified archers, and they have to go, there's, Josh could probably speak to it a little bit better than me, but it is a very regimented program. You have to seek approvals, that's what they're going through here. I mean, and I can forward you guys all of the information, but they always let us know when they're gonna be out there hunting. They have to hunt from an elevated position to make sure it's as safe as
Sit down.
possible. And I believe it's a 20-yard.
Nothing further than 20 yards. They have to check in
Yep.
each time they go out for a hunt, so you'll have visibility to when they go, whether or not they harvested a deer, et cetera. And they're primarily targeting doe to keep the population down. So it's a very safe program. I don't think since it started 20 years ago, there's been a single incident. So everybody takes a lot of pride in the safety and making sure they're
Yep.
hunting with a lot of integrity.
And all
Okay.
the hunters have to be, sign up with the police department and approved with the
Correct.
police
Yep.
department. So,
Okay.
I hear a motion to approve the Deer Task Force approval.
So moved.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. I entertain a vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
None opposed. All right.
Okay, SOAR sponsorship. I am requesting that the board authorize me to spend no more than $2,000 for our SOAR event this year. That money would be taken out of the City Aviation Services, the FBO bank account, as one of the sponsors. And we would be using that money to purchase some banners for advertisement, as well as the T-shirts for the event. The T-shirts would then be sold, and then those proceeds would go to Cardinal Services, which is who we support with the SOAR event. So I would ask that the board look upon that and see what you guys think.
Yeah,
Which we've
I
done in the past,
agree,
right?
yeah.
No objection from me.
Motion?
I move.
All right.
Second.
Gene makes the motion, Steve seconds. Any further questions or discussion?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, all in favor of the SOAR sponsorship signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved, none opposed.
Great. Hangar 21A is being sold. Daniel Kirpaw has come to me and asked that the board waive their right of refusal. He is selling the hangar to Brandon Robinson, and I've spoken with Brandon. He is either purchased or in the process of purchasing an aircraft right now for that hangar, and I would support the sale of this hangar from DJ to Brandon. So we just need the board to waive, that we need two motions, one to waive their right of first refusal, and then one to approve the land lease with Brandon. And it is our standard land lease. It's the same that Austin had, just would be with Brandon.
Okay, go ahead. There's two motions involved here. So first motion would be to not exercise.
Refusal,
Our
right
option
of first refusal.
to purchase.
I make that motion.
Okay, Gene, second.
Second.
John. Any discussion on that?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, then, all in favor of the motion to not buy hangar 21A, signify by aye.
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 All right, unanimous, none opposed.
And you
All right, now,
abstain?
I probably should abstain from the
Yep.
next one.
Yep,
I don't think I need to on the first one,
yep.
but,
And so we would just need a motion to approve this land lease. It would run from August of '25 through the last day of December 2045, and then there would be one option to renew, as is our standard lease, at the end of 2045.
Which lease are they gonna be getting?
They're getting the new lease.
Okay.
Yep. So Steve, a few years ago, I worked with John and Gene, I believe it was, and our lease was very outdated. And so we spent a lot of time updating that document and coming, really bringing it into the modern era. And so everybody who either gets a new lease or buys a hangar, we're slowly transitioning everybody so that we're all underneath the same lease moving forward.
All right.
Yeah, I believe I've seen that lease
Mm-hmm.
in connection with Hangar 20, so
Yeah.
I think I've seen it already.
So we just need a motion.
I move we allow that sale.
It's for the approval of the land lease.
land lease.
Well, okay, land lease, yes. I
John
will
makes
make
a
that
motion,
Check.
Steve seconds. All right, any discussion?
Nope.
All right, all in favor signify by aye.
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 I abstain.
Thank you. And then the last thing on the list, I'm just requesting the board's approval. I'm going to go out for quotes to purchase a new snowplow truck. We're looking at an F-350 similar to the 2017 that we have. Depending on, we will word it in a way that with a trade-in, if it's valuable enough that we do trade in, if it comes back that the truck is worth more to us than the trade-in value is, we can keep that as a backup plow truck. So that would be I don't need board motion, I just want to make sure you guys are okay with me soliciting quotes, and then we'll look at those quotes at the next board meeting.
All
Any
right.
comments?
No objection from me?
How many
Okay.
plow
Go
trucks
ahead.
do we have?
We currently have two large trucks. One has a 16-foot plow and a 12-foot belly blade. The other one has an 11-foot main plow. And then we have two F-350s, a 2017 and a 2013. Both of those have a 10-foot V plow on them. And then we have our tractor, our big tractor that we use for mowing. It has a box plow, a bucket, and a snow blower on it that we use. And then we have a small, it's a mini wheel loader, it's a Bobcat, and also has a big box plow and a bucket for it as well.
Okay.
Many directions at one time?
Yep. And that is all I have, unless there's anything else that you guys would like to discuss.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are we still, is our farmer still doing hay on the field?
So one farmer is, the one that had been doing it is no longer doing it as of this year. We have somebody filling in, and we will probably be going out for bid for that this fall to see if
Is
we
that
have any.
three-year contract up?
We never had a true contract for the hay. We went out to bid 2 or 3 different times, and nobody ever submitted a bid. And so we worked out an agreement with he's actually he's related to someone at the airport, and he wrote the airport a check for 30% of whatever he sold the hay for. we didn't have to mow it, and nobody would ever submit a bid on it. So with him not doing that anymore, I think it would be smart to go back out to bid and see if we have anybody that would be interested in submitting a
Yeah.
bid to mow that hay.
Because it does two things for us. It generates a little income and it reduces the amount of mowing.
For me, if we, even without the income, it's still saving us money.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
The
Well, I
fact
like
that he was,
both.
yeah, both is definitely better, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it does save us a lot of time and money not having to mow it as well, so.
So when does Mr. Bishop's contract on the farming expire? Isn't there at least another year on it?
I think there's at least one more year. Dan will have to check and get
He
back to
wasn't
you.
interested in doing hay?
We've gone out, I believe, 3 times, and we've never received one bid for mowing the hay.
Wow.
I think a big portion of it is there's very specific measurements that the grass just can't be very long. Farmers want to let it get a little bit longer before they have to come in and mow it, and that's why we've never received a bid on it, because it can't be longer than 17 inches. And so.
Is that a FAA rule?
Yep. Can't be shorter than 6 inches, can't be longer than 17.
I wonder how they came up with that.
I have it in my office and I can show it to you. There was a study done in England in the 1970s, and that is what they based that is the best, that 6 to 17 inches is the best natural deterrent for small wildlife, from groundhogs to geese to ducks to turkeys. It's just tall enough that they can't really see out and around, but it's not so tall that they can just get hidden in it.
That was a long study.
Yep.
Yeah, it probably was.
Okay, well, I was just curious if anybody, we were still getting income off of that.
A little bit.
Okay. I would think somebody would want to do it, but yeah, those are pretty tight rules.
Yep.
And what happens if they don't get it? And who measures the 17 inches?
It's rough. We, you know, and obviously weather plays a big part of that as well.
Yeah.
You know, they might have it scheduled to get it cut, and then all of a sudden, you know, we get 5 days of rain. Well, we're gonna have to wait for it to dry out before they can go out and cut it, so.
And it'll shoot up 3 or 4 inches
It
easily.
can, and so that's one of those where it's a tough one.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Comments? How about the audience? Do you have anything to ask?
I have a question on the fuel,
Mm-hmm.
where you had increased sales of fuel. What percentage, Nick, increase?
I will have to do some arithmetic. I wanna say 10% off,
Just roughly, I was just curious,
about 10%.
about 10%?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to go up as well. So last year, at this time last year, we had sold, yeah, 106,000 gallons on jet, and we're over 117,000 gallons on Jet A, and avgas is almost dead even. We're up about 300 gallons on avgas, but we're up 11,000 gallons from where we were last year. And I see that continuing to go up because the crop dusting they're purchasing a good amount of fuel from us, so.
Well, that was my next question, is there a calculated reason that you saw that increase this year? Is it weather, is it because the improvements at the airport and it draws in more aircraft, or?
Improvements at the airport, and also we worked really hard last year to get a negotiated price for our agricultural flight businesses. And so they're able to get the fuel from us cheaper than anywhere else. And so we'll have fuel trailers come in, get fuel, and then they'll leave and go somewhere else because of the negotiated price that we have with them right now. The board made a decision to really work with agri-flight businesses to try and support our local agriculture as much as they can, and that's really paid off for the airport as well.
So based on that, you should almost anticipate next year seeing these increases projection out.
Hopefully, I don't know, this year is we have a tenant based at Warsaw this year, and oh my goodness, they purchased in July the amount of fuel that they purchased in all of '24. And so with that type of increase, with them being based there, I think we'll still see increases next year. I don't know if it'll be quite as big as this year, but I do see those numbers continuing to go up. So that Memorial Day to Labor Day timeframe, when crop dusters are active, and then after the harvest, that's another really busy time when they're out planting all of their winter crops, the rye, winter wheat, things like that for erosion control. They're used heavily for that as well, so we could see a little bit of a bump at the end of the year as well.
Very good.
Dylan, to amplify what Nick said, we discussed this last year. Nick brought it to the board, and we made the decision to basically give the ag guys a little bit different pricing structure. It does three things. It helps the local farm community, and it brings those ag flights. It brings those ag flights here, so it increases our volume of fuel, which is good for our purchasing power, and it increases activity numbers with the FAA, which is good for grant writing requests.
Yep.
So that was the reason why we decided to take that chance, and it appears to be paying off.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super.
Anything else?
Just one clarification.
Yes, sir.
On the corporate tax lane E1, you had the deduction of 89,000.
Yep.
So was the final price the 386,681.65?
No, Mary, I don't have that up anymore. It was
It
one,
was $1.3 million something.
yeah, it was $1,000,003. She's
and
got it
some
right here.
change.
Okay.
If I remember right, it was $1.319 or something
I
like
just
that.
saw 386, so I was.
So you're wanting,
What was the final total grant for E1?
for E1, I didn't have that, what I had was for, the grant amount that I had was for the, high voltage lines. I have the amount for the change order.
Right, the change order was the 89,233.35.
What-
But with,
Yep,
but with the change order, I guess what's. the
There,
final-
$1,386,681.65.
yeah, so this is the.
Can you zoom in on that, Mary?
Amount, yeah.
Okay. Well, somewhere I